All right.
So Live Aid put Queen back on top. The only problem was Freddie's future was uncertain at best. 3 days after Live Aid, another notable figure was about to make headlines that would eventually shatter the wall of silence regarding HIV and AIDS. Actor Rock Hudson joined his former co-star and lifelong friend Doris Day for a press conference to launch her new show.
I had to have Rock Hudson as my first guest. So I called him, and he said, "I'll be there. You can count on me."
Rock Hudson looked gaunt and much older than his 59 years. The press speculated he had cancer.
As I reflect on his arrival in Carmel, I can only tell you, my friends, that it was a heartbreaking time for me to see him.
Later that month, he collapsed at the airport in Paris, France. They later told the press that he collapsed at his hotel room at the Ritz because he thought it sounded better.
Oh, my God.
No.
So Rock Hudson was forced to admit he had AIDS because he was admitted to a Paris hospital and they wouldn't treat him unless he did.
Rock Hudson, aware of his disease, went to Paris for treatment to the Louis Pasteur Institute, where the French, for some time, have been working with an experimental drug known as HPA-23. The drug is not yet available, even on an experimental basis, here in the United States.
I never knew this because I know Rock Hudson, and I know if people are looking at this picture that we have up right now, you're probably just as confused as I am because I know Rock Hudson as this picture.
Yeah.
And that was the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable.
It's shocking.
Yeah. Completely, you can't even tell. It's the same person.
And he was good friends with Ronald and Nancy Reagan. And they ignored his desperate request for help.
Shut up.
Pretended they didn't know him.
Yeah.
And Rock went on to die on October 2nd that same year, 1985.
My God.
And the world was absolutely stunned.
Did Ronnie
at the
and
news.
Nancy go to the funeral, I wonder?
No, nothing to do with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, they drop it like a hot potato.
And
those
there's
people.
a picture of them together just a year before.
Wow.
Him with the Reagans.
Oh, well, never heard of them.
What's AIDS?
What day is it?
If Rock hadn't collapsed while going, because he was going there to receive secret treatments because he knew he had AIDS.
Yeah.
If he hadn't have collapsed, he might have died eventually and they would have just said cancer and nobody would have thought anything of it.
Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of people didn't even know he was gay then.
Yeah.
It wasn't until his AIDS diagnosis that he told the world the truth about himself.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't know he had AIDS.
Or that he was gay.
Oh.
I wouldn't have talked to him.
I'd help you, but I think it's contagious.
Get this AIDS off of me. Tear down this AIDS.
America faces a disease that is fatal and spreading, and this calls for urgency, not panic. It's also important that America not reject those who have the disease, but care for them with dignity and kindness. Final judgment is up to God.
And of course, I felt that he wasn't feeling well enough to work. And I told him, I said, nothing is as important as your health. You don't have to do this show, and I don't want you to. I want you to forget it. I want you to just stay in Carmel for a while and relax and enjoy it. And he said, forget it. I came here to do your show. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And he did. And he was wonderful.
My buddy